All right, Pack Minions, here we are. Back with the third page. I kind of got it all on here. You'll have to let me know if you can see well enough or if I have to do something a little bit differently, but I thought we could get through all of this here pretty quickly. I'm going to convert miles to yards. Miles are huge, right, compared to yards. So I don't need as many. I'm going to need a lot more of these to make these equivalent, to have the same amount of distance. So what operation am I going to do if I want more of something? I'm going to multiply. So I have to take miles times whatever it is to make yards. Well, how many yards are in 1 mile? If I take my little handy dandy sheet, right, I can look at that and it's going to tell me that it's 1,760, and because it's a whole number, that also is going to tell me that I'm going to multiply. If I have 1,760 for one and I have two of those, I'm going to have to do times 2, right? So we're going to do 1,760 times 2, or you can add 1,760 to 1,760. It's just when you get to numbers like 7 or 8, then it's not as practical, right? 2 times 0, 2. 2 times 6, 12. I put my 2 there. My 1 goes up there. See how it still looks like a 12? 2 times 7 is 14. And then that 1 I carried over there, 15. Right? And then 2 times 1, that's a tough one. 2 plus the 1 I already had, it's 3. I get 3,520. Easy peasy. How many of you remember? Okay, so I've got feet here and yards. What's bigger? Yards are bigger, so I'm going to have more of those, right? If I want more of something, what should I do? I'm going to multiply. So again, I'm just going to take my 6. I'm just going to do it side to side here. No, I won't. I'll do it this way. How many feet are in 1 yard? There's 3. So if I have 2 yards, I'm going to have 6, right? That's why I'm going to multiply here. So I'm going to do 6 times 3. 6 times 3? 18. Done. It's that easy. Boom. All right, now I've got this mixed measure. How do I know that? Because it tells me I've got feet and inches over here. So remember, if every time I see I've got this remainder of inches, every time I see that, I know for a fact that I'm going to end up having to divide. That's the only way I'm going to get a remainder, right? Otherwise, I'm going to get another whole number. So keep that in mind. Every time you see a mixed measure like that, for your answer, okay, you're going to be dividing. So let's take a look. I've got 90 inches, so I'm going to turn inches into feet. Inches are the smallest, feet are bigger, right? So I need fewer feet to cover the same distance as I do inches. And also it shows me that I'm going to have a remainder, so I know that I'm going to divide. So I'm going to take 90, and I'm going to divide it by, well, how many inches are in a foot? 12. All right. Okay, you can check your multiplication chart or whatever, unless you know this already. How many 12s are there in 90? How many times can I take 12 out? 7? That sounds good to me. Let's do 7. All right. 7 times 12 is 84. Good. So 0 minus 4 is, of course, 4, right? No, you can't. If I have no money, can I give you $4? No. Gotta borrow, right? Make that an 8. That's a 10. 6. I get a 6 here. And what's cool here, as a fraction, this would be 6/12, and then I'd have to reduce it to a half, right? And all that stuff. With this, I just plug it in, right? I've got 7 feet, 6 inches. So, I mean, that's a really tall basketball player right there. All right. Moving on. Practice, copy, and solve. I'm going to go ahead and do these. I have 125 inches, and I want to turn those into feet and inches. All I've got to do is 125 divided by 12. And I know that's going to come out pretty good. How many 12s go into 12? 1. So I put 1 there. Minus 12. I get that 0. Bring down my 5. How many 12s will go into 5? 0. So remember, I have to put a 0 there, right? And I subtract 0. I get 10 with a remainder of 5. So this is 10 feet, 5 inches. 10 feet, 5 inches. Okay? 46 feet into yards and feet. Well, I have feet and I want yards. Yards are bigger, so I need fewer of them. If I need fewer of something, I have to divide. So I'm going to take 46, right? And I'm going to divide it by 3. 3 goes into 4 how many times? 1 time. Minus 3, I get 1 to bring down my 6. 3 into 16, how many times? 5 times. So I get 15, and I subtract 15, and I get 1. So I get a remainder of 1. So I get 15 yards and 1 foot. Let me make that a T. All right. 42 yards and 2 feet into feet. So if I'm converting something that's a mixed number into a whole number, I am going to have to do what? Multiply. It's the opposite. When my answer is a mixed number, I divide. When where I'm starting with is a mixed number, I'm going to multiply. It's the only way. All right? So I got 42 yards and I want to turn them into feet. Well, yards are bigger. I need more feet to make the same, so that also backs that up. I'm going to take 42 times 3. 3 times 2, 6. 3 times 4 is 12. So I have 126 feet, but I also have 2 more feet. So I have to take 126 and add my 2. 128. 128 feet. Done. Doing good. All right. Got these last couple ones down here. I'm going to make sure you pause and get this down if you need it. All right, I'm going to erase that out of the way just a little bit. Okay, so we can see this. I'm going to compare what's bigger, 8 yards 8 feet or 3 yards. Well, there's only one way to do that. I'm going to either convert feet into yards or yards into feet. Me personally, I like multiplying better most of the time. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 3 and I'm going to multiply it by, well, how many feet are in 1 yard? Because I'm going to get more of them, right? Yards are bigger, I need more feet. I'm going to multiply by 3. And you can always check your chart, but that's going to be 9 feet is 3 yards, so that's bigger. All right, we already did this one if we go back, but remember this is, how many feet are in a mile? 5,000, I don't remember. Let me see, I look at my chart. 5,280, it's a whole number, so I know I'm going to multiply. So 5,280 times 2. Well, it's going to be close. 2 times 0, 0. 2 times 8 is, oh, I don't know why I put that there. 2 times 8 is 16. Good, that's my 6, and then my 1 goes up there. 2 times 2 is 4, plus the 1 is 5. Okay, and then 2 times 5 is 10. So what's bigger, 10,500 or 10,560? Yeah, 10,560. 2 miles wins again. 3 yards and 2 feet. I'm going to go 2 yards and 2 feet into inches. So here's one where I think this might come in handy. Because I'm not going from yards to feet. I'm going all the way to inches. So if I take a look at my chart, if I want to go from, I got 3 yards and 2 feet, and I've got 132 inches. So I've got some work to do here. What I would do is convert my yards into feet first, add those to my other feet, and then we're working with feet and inches. Does that make sense? So let's go ahead and take 3 yards, and I'm going to multiply that by 3. So I get 9 plus the 2 I already have, right? So now I'm checking out what's bigger, 11 feet or 132 inches. So now you gotta decide, do I want to divide or do I want to multiply? Well, let's take 11 feet and we want to get to inches, so we're going to multiply times 12. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 2 is also 2. What do I put here? Not a placeholder, it's a 0 because I'm multiplying by 10. 1 times 1 is 1, and 1 times 1 is 1. That's easy peasy. 2, 3, 1. I get 132 inches. What's bigger, 132 inches or 132 inches? That's right, it's 132 inches. They're equal. All right. Finally, look down here. I think we can get it. We don't have to really do much work, but choose the correct word and number to complete the sentence. Katie's driveway is 120 feet long. She wants to go to yards. Yards are bigger, so I need fewer of them. So I'm going to have to divide, and if I can't remember, I'll do the work and then make sure it makes sense, or I can use this, right? So if I want fewer of these, I have to, of course, divide. And if I'm going from feet to yards, what would I divide by? What's my relationship? 3. Awesome. All right. I'm going to move on to the last page here in 1 second.